Hey everybody, it's your girl Jasmine, aka the Queen Bee of the Bee Party Podcast, and I'm so excited to have my good sis with me today, Omitola. She is a highly gifted and skilled intuitive, and I'm just super excited to have you here on this platform with me. So I'm gonna let you introduce yourself to our listeners.
Okay, thank you again so much, Jasmine,
You're
for
welcome.
having me. I'm inspired by your podcast. I love seeing the growth. Again, my name is Omitola of GrandVoiceOfRa. I have been initiated into the yoga science practices for about a decade now, and I use my practice and my love of spirit to literally stop time to kind of see what has happened in the past, what's going on in the present, and kind of give some insight of what's going to happen in the future. I do this by using tarot, numerology, connecting with your spirit guides as well as my ancestors. So for me, it's a love that I have, for spirit. I'm glad to be able to be used by God in this way, and I'm honored to be on your show.
Thank you. I so appreciate it. And to those of you who are wondering how I got in touch with Ra, I was on social media and I was looking for a way to continue my journey with my self-love and self-care. And I just so happened to have heard a podcast that you were on, Selfish Babes. And when I heard that podcast, I immediately went and I followed her, and then she followed me back. And at that moment, I just kind of felt like that was the universe sending me a sign to go ahead and just reach out. So when I did reach out to you, you responded immediately. It was such a pleasant experience. And then when we actually had our first intuitive session, I was just like, oh yes, this is the person for me. It instantly felt like family. It really felt, like genuine. I knew that all the information that you was given was really, sent to you by source. So I was like, this is amazing. So our relationship has definitely grown since then. So I just appreciate you for everything that you have, instilled in me. And so I know that some of my listeners may be curious about what it is, intuitive messages and like getting into that spirituality really is. So I wanted to just bring you on here today to kind of like enlighten the people and just share some of that information with them.
Okay, great. Yeah. Like I said, I use a variety of modalities depending on, you don't have to come with a question. Sometimes people may not know what they need to know.
Right.
Sometimes they're just, confused, and they may feel like there's something off, and they're like, okay, I'm at a crossroad in my life, where to go. And that's where I step in. I stand as the voice to your heart, to the lights of God, to your higher self, and the direction that your higher self wants to travel on, right? And sometimes, honestly, Jazz, we're so into the world, right? We're so of the world that we can't hear our own heart. We can't hear ourselves. So I act as that medium to connect with yourself and channel the spirits of, the messages of your spirit guides, your ancestors, to give you the information that you may need at that time. Now, let me tell you, okay, because I'm a straight shooter.
Right.
Sometimes you may come a question asking about your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and spirit is like, no. We have more pertinent information right now.
All the time I tell people you got to make sure that when you go, that you're going for yourself first, and then everything else, like the other pieces to the puzzle, will come in alignment. So, definitely focusing on like goals to help push you in the right direction, to help you, be the best version of yourself that you can be. And then all of the other answers and to the questions that you have will come into place at that time. So when did you get on your journey? Like, when did you start, or what made you shift into this career?
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely. I started yoga and meditation around 2010. As children, we're highly intuitive. We see things. Children are so much more connected to the spirit world. So I have that story as well. However, when I was in high school, it came on really strong. Like, I can look at somebody's face, and I don't know if I was making it up, but I would see like the pain, their sorrow, their struggles that was happening. And I just felt so helpless that I couldn't do anything about it. You
Right.
know, I wasn't necessarily trained. My mother, I was raised by my mother and my grandmother, who are Jamaican. So, you know, I would see them do certain practices growing up, but it wasn't something that's like, oh yes, this is who you are, this is how you handle it, you
Right.
know. So during my practice in meditation is really when that channel opened up again, you know, and those powers and those that level of intuition started to heighten. So even then, it wasn't until actually 2019 when I went on a vacation style retreat. Shout out to Soul Care, Soul Care Collective, and and I said the opening prayer for the offering that we did at the ocean, right, to venerate the ancestors there of the land and our ancestors in Haiti, right. And my mom was there. She had the pleasure and the honor of being there, and what she saw touched her so deeply, and she pushed me to do it on full throttle. Now, I had already been, you know, I've been the medium, I've been the go-to person, and, you know, with my sister circle, you know, we did Sacred Woman Circle with Queen Afua. So anytime we would convene at my house, you know, and spirit would come down, I would be the person to report what is happening. So I was already comfortable in that realm. But when my mom saw what she saw, she's like, no, you got to help people. You know, you have a gift, you got to do it. And for me, she was really the catalyst to pushing me through the door in that realm. Okay. Because the type of work that I do, it can be misunderstood. It can be demonized. It can be feared, right, by many people. And as a result, I internalized that fear, right? So, but when the person who gave me life told me and gave me instructions on what to do,
right,
you
had no choice but you had no choice but to surrender and say, okay,
yes,
this is what I'm
exactly.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's a little background of how it all started and when it actually came full throttle.
Okay, that's really interesting. It gave me a whole lot of insight about your journey, because when I look at, you know, media and I see the things that you post, I'm like, okay, you know, you were a teacher, you have your master's in education, and as someone like myself, like I have a master's in arts and teaching, and you left your career to go and pursue this full time. And so, you know, what made you leave the education system to go and do it full time instead of just, you know, having it as like a side hustle, but doing it all the time?
Honestly, I don't say I really had a choice. You know, I don't say if I'm like, okay, I'll do it only a little bit, or I do it on the side. You know, when something's for you, it's for you, and you can't get away from it. So I'm not in the classroom. I still do tutoring online. So I'm a teacher in that regard, in that respect. But honestly, it wasn't something that I could get away from. You know, spirit was tired of me hiding in the background, okay, as my ancestors always say. So it just came to a point where I can no longer stay in the shadows. You know, people need me, and people need your voice. People need everyone who is listening to us. They need your light. So it just came to a point in a time where I realized that I couldn't win this battle with God. You know, I couldn't fight who I was created to be. And trust me, I resisted for a long time. But honestly, it's funny that you asked, even when I give readings, right? And I inspire them and I tell them, this is what you ought to do. I'm like, I got to take my own advice. You know, these messages are for you, but they're also helping me as well. So it just came to a point in time where I was tired of being afraid, you know, and I realized I couldn't run anymore. So I had to surrender.
Right. So one thing I know for certain is, like, when people hear about like this intuitive, these intuitive messages, or hear about the spirit realm outside of religion, a lot of people don't know that both of them are tied heavily together. A lot of people think when you are spiritual outside of the church, that means that you are, you know, doing something that shouldn't be done, that's demonized by the Bible. So what would you suggest or say to someone who may be questioning spirituality, but have that fear or that resistance towards going after, you know, what they really want to do or their true calling?
Wow, that is such a powerful question. Okay, that's such a powerful question. I would tell them, don't allow people to stop you how you do God. Okay.
I like that response.
If you know you're doing good, if you know the things that you're into are to help other people, then it's nobody else's business on how you do what you
Right.
do. You know, we know the history of this country. We know the history of powerful, free women, right? How they have tried to demonize and smother our gifts, our talents, our magic, right? Free women were killed. Okay. So yes, there intrinsically, there is fear there.
Right.
Right? There's fear there. However, it's time. Okay. I'll say to that person, it's time.
It's time.
So you can't allow the people who have fear, ignorance, and judgment to stop you. You got to do you. You got to do you. And can't nobody judge on how you operate and what God is doing in your life. You know? Yeah.
Agreed.
That's what I would say.
I like that. And the reason why I asked that question, I know it's a very weighted question, but I just know, like, when I initially started, I had all of this fear and resistance because of what I was taught. And I was like, I have to be open because there's something calling me to this for a reason. Like, you know, hopping on a spiritual journey like I did, it wasn't something that just popped up. Like, I started looking into chakras, and then I started, you know, getting my chakras aligned. And then, like, bit by bit, I got more and more involved. And so I know when I'm having conversations with people, I can see their hesitance, but then also I can see, like, where they're kind of like intrigued by the concept and the thought. And I know I've introduced several of my friends to your platform, and now they are also like, oh yeah, I gotta come to meditation. Wednesday she does meditation for the ladies. There are some gentlemen that hop in on the line too, but you guys, it is so amazing. But like, now my friends, they're there more religiously than me. They're like, girl, we gotta go meditation tonight. So I'm really, really grateful for everything that you have done, everything that you have put out. So what has been one of the most challenging aspects of your business?
The most challenging aspect is, I guess I would say, the personal development piece. You know, I'm such a person who, I'm a creative, you know, I'm in the clouds. However, I don't want my business to be a reflection of I'm just spiritual, you know. Timeliness is important for me, punctuality, you know, getting products to my customers in a timely fashion, things of that nature. So I guess my greatest challenge is balance. You know, is balance between, because, you know, I'm an intuitive, but I'm also writing a book. You know, I'm in the process of writing a book. I also, you know, I'm a daughter, so I'm on the phone with family, you know, and it's, you know, my life is, and my work is dedicated to spirit. However, spirit got me doing a whole bunch of things. Okay?
A whole lot of things. Getting everything together. Absolutely.
Yes. So balance. And I would definitely say meditation, you know, my baths, connecting and talking to my ancestors, and just doing it, you know, not allowing, not giving myself the room and opportunity to bullshit, you know, because you can bullshit other people, but you can't bullshit yourself. You know,
bullshit yourself, because they're gonna catch you every time. And get it together every time. Yourself be like, girl, you know you wrong for that. I'm sorry. Absolutely.
So that'll be my greatest challenge, the balance of it all.
So I'm so happy that you mentioned your book, because I was going to ask you about when do you expect to release it, because Ra is also an author. She wrote a book called There Is Peace, and it is a memoir. And the peace is an acronym. I'll let you explain what the acronym stands for. However, it will be coming out soon, and I'm so ready for it because I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Yes, thank you. There is peace and memoir, positive energy and chaos everywhere. And it's really an autobiography of my life, and how I noticed 12 areas in my life that were in shambles, that were full of chaos, that did not have positive energy. So I've broken down these 12 areas in 4 different categories: health, relationship, career, and family. Okay. And under health, we have 4 categories: mental health, emotional health, physical health and sexual health. So like sexual trauma, dealing with that.
Right.
Relationships is broken down into 4 categories as well. My relationship toward God, my relationship toward myself, my intimate relationships, and my relationships with friends. So social relationship. I noticed 2 areas in my life that did not have peace in regards to family, the family in which I've come from and the family that I desire to create, right? And then career, broken that down into my actual career and the things that I like to do and aspire to do and put out into the world, and my finances. Again, I was in shambles. Okay. I was in shambles. So really each chapter, there's 12 chapters, and each chapter is a strategy of how I'm developing peace in each of those different areas. Okay. And each chapter is a narrative actually of someone in my life who has influenced peace or influenced positive energy or influenced chaos within my life. So it's a telltale all, honey.
It sounds amazing. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. You have no idea. I've been, wait, I'm like, she's going to release it. She's going to release it. But I know everything happens in due time and divine time and when it's supposed to. So I'm being very patient, but I did want to let the listeners know to be on the lookout for that book, because I know, and just by hearing you break it down into like its chapters and then the subcategories, I didn't even know that that was what was going to be inside. And now I'm even more eager and ecstatic. I cannot wait. What advice would you give someone who may be trying to venture off and start a new career journey or possibly get on a spiritual path?
Immediately what comes to mind is prayer. Pray for the right people to be put in your place, to be put in your life. Pray to be shown the way, and meditate, right? Oftentimes we get into the spiritual realm, we get into the spiritual world, and it's a lot going on. Don't think just because it's spirit, everybody is great, everybody is peace, love, and light. If that were the case, it'd be fantastic, but unfortunately it's not. So I would advise someone to connect with their higher self, connect with what we call the Ori. This is your divine intuition, so that no matter the space that you're in, you have a level of discernment, right? Number one, and a level of connection to your spirit guides and ancestors. So you're not in the wrong place at the wrong time,
Right, where you supposed to be.
Exactly, because it's a lot out there. It's a lot out there. But some books that I would recommend is Of Water and the Spirit by Malidomi Somé. Another one, and I can't think of the author of this one, but The Wheels of Life is another great book about the chakra system. Because the spiritual journey is one of self-awareness and self-realization. Okay, so realizing that you are God, the word says we are made in his image and likeness. So what does that mean? What does that look like? For me, that's the whole point of all of this, is realizing your God-given and divine talent and birthright of who you claim to be. So yeah, I would say start and know that it's okay to be not okay, right? Oftentimes I hear a lot, oh, I'm not happy, I'm not, or I'm so sensitive, I feel so much. Okay, you putting more emphasis on whatever things are. Just allow things to be. It doesn't have to be more than that. So yeah, that's what I would say.
So I like that you say, that it's okay to not be okay, because I always have conversations with my friends and, they're always talking about their feelings, and I always let them know, like, your feelings are valid. Because I feel like oftentimes we're not comfortable letting people know when we're not okay, because we're so used to, especially as women and Black women at that, we're so used to wearing all of these hats and being so strong and being the matriarch of our families and, carrying on so many burdens that we feel like we can't express when we are not okay. So I just really want to place emphasis that your feelings are always valid, and it is so important for you to acknowledge those feelings. And sometimes you have to use that energy to help you progress forward and get to what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So, to what do you attribute your success?
My mother. All hands down. My mother, myself, right? I attribute my success to the women who I have not met yet, and I know that are there who need me. I have a history. I've been in domestic violence relationship in high school, and so many women have died, you know, at the hands of domestic
Absolutely.
violence. So I contribute my success to the women I don't know, you know, and those who I do, and all the mentors and you know, professors and aunties, you know, aunties are the backbone of the community.
Backbone.
All the aunties and everyone who has poured into me throughout my life. You know, I have no reason to hold back. I have no reason to stay silent. Too much has been given to
Right.
me. It is my responsibility and my duty to give back. So I attribute my success to all those who have touched me and all those people that I will touch in the future and have touched already.
Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that. That is like a wonderful background to have. And it's so nice, you know, to just kind of shed light on the things that we are grateful for having. So what other services do you have to offer to people who may be interested in what else there is that they can receive from you?
Yeah, so I'm in addition to being an intuitive, like you said, I'm a aspiring upcoming author. I also have a candle business that is on the way. So I do candles that cater to healing depression and anxiety on the emotional and spiritual level. Oftentimes, you know, the therapy is great, you know, the teas is good, but sometimes that residue, the energetic residue, is still there. So my candles specifically I don't know, attack, you know, balance out the emotions and the spiritual levels of different ailments that we've all gone through.
So I've definitely had my pleasures of receiving a candle, and I got the clarity candle. And let me tell you, see, when I took it out the box and I like took the wrapper off of it, the scent, it just was like, and I had to burn it immediately because it just smelled so amazing. And I know you did a poll recently asking like, did they want the fragrance or not? And I'm like, please let them want the fragrance because it was so amazing. And I burned that candle until I could not burn that candle anymore. And definitely when she releases those candles, I'm here to let you guys know not only do they smell good, but they actually do work and do their purpose, because I was able to sleep like a light. And the energy inside of my home, it was just what I needed to, you know, keep progressing forward with all of my ideas, my intentions, and all of that good stuff. So that is something, you know, it's really, really amazing that you have to offer. Everything that you have to offer is amazing. And I just want to say thank you for the information that you have dropped on us all. Thank you for the information that you have given to me throughout, you know, this time that I have known you, as well as for all of the things that you do for us on the media. Because if you guys follow her on Instagram, I'm about to have her give y'all her social media information momentarily. But once you follow her, you will like every day, or like, you know, more than at least 4 or 5 times a week, she's going to be getting on live and asking questions and just having that communication with you. And, you know, when she does those live, she's opening the floor to questions, and it's questions about anything. And so there's so many ways that you can connect with Rod. Just, you are a light.
Thank you. Oh my
You
God.
are a light, and we so appreciate you. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let everyone know how they can get in touch with you for your services, as well as just to stay connected.
Yes, please connect with me. I'm always loving new faces. Become a member of the community. You can connect with me via Instagram at GrandVoiceOfRa, or you can contact me, email, contact@grandvoice.org, or you can text me. I do respond to 770-988-6521. And if you're interested in booking a reading, you can find the link in my bio on Instagram.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Raquel, for being here with us today. We so appreciate you. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Bee Party podcast. Please check out my link tree. It will be in the bio, as well as all of the information so you guys can get in touch with Grand Voice of Ra. Her information will be in the description as well. And if you love this video, please leave me a love donation. Till next time, everybody be blessed.